Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bring you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Krishna and joining me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cupbush. Bill, how's it going?
Krishna, you want to know how it's going? Remember last week at this time, I was saying, hey, guess what they announced for my
Mm-hmm.
birthday, Forbidden
Mm-hmm.
Door 2, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, the pre-sale starts Thursday. We are ready this time for the pre-sale. You know when the pre-sale started?
When did it start?
Today. It started
What?
today. I know, I know. But I caught on fast this time. And Krishna and I, for those of you who don't know, are in fact going to Forbidden Door on June 25th, which happens to be my birthday. Have I mentioned that enough times now?
This is wild. Like I listen, I don't care where the seats are. We got tickets. We got the best tickets that were available. But we're gonna be at Forbidden Door 2
I know.
in Toronto
I know.
on June, on your birthday, just right after my
Yeah,
birthday,
2 days after yours and on my birthday.
with the elite present and 100% fighting. And I'm not saying the elite like all like
Assuming they
together.
don't get injured, let's knock on wood. I would like Kenny Omega to wrestle the safest matches of his career for the next couple of months, please.
You know he hey, look at it this way. He wrestled injured for over a year,
True.
right? Nothing is keeping these guys out of Forbidden Door 2. Let's get
Because
one
they
thing
all didn't
straight.
they all miss Forbidden Door 1?
The
No, where the
Bucks
Bucks were
didn't.
there.
The Bucks didn't. They fought.
Mhm.
Who did they fight at Forbidden Door 1?
That's a
I can't
very
even
good
remember.
question.
But no, they didn't miss it. But yeah, like just thinking back, hey, Ryan Danielson
I know.
against potentially Zack Sabre
Zack
Jr.
Sabre
Let's
Jr.
yeah, let's
Oh my
just get it
God.
right here.
I don't even need to say take my money, please. I've already given them my money. So
I I I'm still beside myself. Like this is like we're going to Forbidden Door,
I know
like
it's going to
the
be
pay per
insane.
view of pay-per-views right now.
hmm I know. New Japan versus AEW in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena, and we will be there.
Is Would you consider Forbidden Door like AEW SummerSlam, or would you like what would you consider their WrestleMania and SummerSlam?
Um, that's a very good question. Do they have a WrestleMania and SummerSlam? Because they have four pay-per-views a
Mm-hmm.
year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like, I don't really think of one of them as being any better than the
Mm-hmm.
other,
Same.
right?
Same.
Like they tend to build them all the
Yeah.
same and bring them up. So I don't really think they have a WrestleMania per se. I think it would have, if I was going to pick one, it'd have to be All Out.
All out. Yeah. I
Yeah,
would
because
I would I would say with you too. That's
yeah,
too.
because I mean, it takes the place of, or no, wait, or is Double or Nothing the one that takes the place of the original All In?
Isn't there All In? Or maybe it's Double or Nothing.
No,
Probably Double or
no, I
Nothing.
think it's All Out that takes the place because it was in the fall, right?
Yeah. All Out's well, yeah, we could
All
remember
In was in the fall, right?
the
Yeah.
fallout from
Oh yeah, I'll never
All
forget
Out,
when
right?
All Out is again. That's for damn sure. But yeah, no, I think All In was in the fall too. So I kind of feel like All Out is the replacement for All In. And if I was going to think that they had a flagship show, that would be it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was kind of saying. Like I'm kind of associating um I was gonna say Forbidden Kingdom for some reason, Forbidden Door,
Forbidden
um,
Kingdom.
with SummerSlam. Like I kind of equated to that type of like big event in the summertime kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So, and it is technically the summertime, guys, because it's right after the summer solstice. So, um, that's what I'm equating it to. But yeah, now thinking about it, I'm like, Wrestle Kingdom. New Japan has Wrestle Kingdom.
hmm
WWE has like
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Yeah, I was just kind of just popped in my head. I'm like,
Stardom has
what's the
Dream
AEW have?
Queendom.
Well, Stardom has Dream Queendom. So then what does AEW have, right? So that was kind of like maybe they don't have like a flagship right now, but hey, I mean their pay-per-views are great to amazing, right? So
Yes.
we've been spoiled with that stuff. But we are going to
Forbidden
Forbidden Door,
Kingdom.
Forbidden Door 2, not
If
Forbidden
look,
Kingdom,
if
the
New
Jackie Chan and Jet
Japan
Li
had
movie.
named the event, it would have been called Forbidden Kingdom.
Forbidden
Okay.
Kingdom. Man, it's gonna be awesome. This is
I
gonna be
know.
so
I
awesome.
know. I know. It is. It can't help but be. I mean, are we going to get Mayu Iwatani defending her IWGP title, which I know for a fact she's winning from Mercedes Monet in April in Yokohama Arena.
Why wouldn't you? If you have the AEW Women's Championship being defended, why wouldn't you have the New Japan Women's Championship?
I know.
Ooh. So what? So this show is gonna be 10 hours long? Is this what's gonna happen? Because I'm okay
we
with
can
that.
only hope.
I'm okay. Now that we're there, I really do hope it's that long.
Yep, it can be 10 hours long for all I care. Yep, that'll be a good time. They can just fight forever.
Fight forever.
Fight forever. Yep.
Yeah,
I will be totally fine with that. So yeah, Forbidden Door. But
and the good thing is that because it's at the Air Canada Centre or Scotiabank Arena to people who know it as that. We've been there. We've seen hockey games there. So the section we're sitting in, you see everything.
Oh yeah.
You see, there's like it's perfect. So it's gonna be a great show. Like I'm not even like a bit hesitant. Like it's gonna be a great show.
Yep. We're pointing towards the hard camera side too. So whenever they do like motions towards, they'll always be facing us anyway.
Yay!
So yeah.
Awesome. So that's good. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad you got on it. So that's amazing that you were able to figure out that it was on today. I love how like, hey, tickets go on sale on Friday, 2 days before they have a pre-sale.
Yep. Well, now see, we've learned again. So now if we want to get AEW tickets, we'll be watching like the week before.
Yeah, exactly. As I say, like next time it's gonna be 2 weeks before and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, AEW.
Yeah. But this is not a podcast, unfortunately, this time for us to just talk about what's going to happen at Forbidden Door, though, of course, that'll intersperse our podcast probably from here until Forbidden Door. But
wait. We're not here to brag about us getting tickets to Forbidden Door? Is that what this is about?
No, we must be humble about it. We have tickets. It's a good thing.
All right.
And then we'll be visiting the merch stand.
Oof.
And I'll be like, Krishna, it's my birthday.
That's right. I got you, Bill. I got you. Yeah, it's gonna be
and you'll be like, Bill, it was my birthday 2 days ago. What the F?
you know the funny thing is as I said, like this year is gonna be an expensive year for me, like traveling Japan and stuff like that. And then everything's just adding up, like Forbidden Door 2. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like, we're gonna be attacking the merch stand. We're gonna get like those like I was there t-shirts, right? Because I need one of those. But yeah, I'm just so excited. Like our first AEW show, and it's Forbidden Door.
I know.
Amazing.
But there is another AEW show tonight. And what we do here on this particular edition, if you're still with us after listening to us yak about Forbidden Door for a while, but what we do on this edition is we preview tonight's Dynamite. We're going to look at the matches, figure out which one we think is going to be the match of the night, and then we're going to go away. We're going to watch Dynamite. We're going to come back, and we're going to see what we actually thought of the matches, the segments, all that good stuff. And of course, most importantly, did anything on tonight's card reach the all-important Omega level?
Yeah, just I was looking at the list of matches tonight, and I would even go on record saying I think one of these matches, and I'm not even going to say which one yet until we get to it, maybe even worthy to be a match even on Forbidden Door. That's how good I think this match is going to be tonight. So let's get into it, Bill.
Okay, I don't think Skye Blue has improved that much yet. I mean, I like her, but
yeah, I think Skye Blue versus whoever else, I guess.
Toni Storm.
Don't they have like a couple 16-year-olds from Stardom that can fight Skye?
Rena and Hina, they would destroy Skye Blue. Rena would just mop the mat with her. Look, I like Skye Blue a lot, but Rena would kill her.
Well, we got to have some matches go, either way, right? So,
yeah, it'd still be a good match. Anyway, tonight's Dynamite, though, comes to us from Independence, Missouri at the Cable Dahmer Arena. Not the Jeffrey Dahmer Arena, the Cable Dahmer Arena.
Ouch.
Yeah. It was the first thing I thought of when I looked at it. I'm like, the Cable Dahmer Arena. Is this like Jeffrey Dahmer Cable or something? Anyway, my apologies to the people of Missouri for slamming their arena. But we have six matches tonight and one segment announced. And let's start with the segment. Tonight we are getting story time with Adam Cole.
So I'm interested in this. Okay, and here's the thing. Okay, I really like Adam Cole. I really do. But when he came back, it's been a couple months now, right? Since he
Mhm.
made his announcement that he's coming back to wrestling, and then he kind of just disappeared for a while, and then came back and said, "Hey, I'll be wrestling after the pay-per-view at some Dynamite sometime." It's like, oh, that was anticlimactic, right?
Well, don't forget, then he came and announced his reality show or whatever it
Yeah,
is, the All Elite whatever backstage thing.
yeah, all access or so
Oh,
whatever the heck
that's
it's
it.
called.
Yeah, yeah, all
Um,
access.
uh, I, you know, remember we talked about the Osprey and Omega that they need to start building again, right?
Right, especially because they'll be at Forbidden Door too. Yeah.
Yes, they will. Uh, I'm losing a bit of interest in this, right? Unless
Mhm.
Adam Cole comes back and says, "Guys, I'm ready to go. I'm wrestling next week or whatever," right? Build up
Yep.
next week's. Then I'm interested. If you come back and if you're talking about this stupid reality show and something like that, I don't care. I really like that. That's gonna fall flat, right?
Yep.
Um, I really do hope it's him announcing he's back. Uh, uh, and who knows? I'm fingers crossed. Like I kind of hope Kyle O'Reilly, makes an appearance or something like that. But I know he's injured, so I know it's not happening.
Mhm.
Interested. I'm thinking that if he is wrestling, maybe who the challenger is. Because we know wrestling trope 101, you come out to make an announcement, you're gonna get interrupted, right? So like,
Right.
I'm wondering who his opponents will be or opponent, because we know that Max or MJF, I should say, is going up against the other three pillars now, right?
Mhm.
So we have story built for that. So Adam Cole is not going after that at the moment.
Right.
I kind of feel like he needs to like the way Kenny did. You need to build yourself up again. So are you going to announce like you're going to start from the bottom, right, and get to the top? I don't know. That's why I'm like really confused about this segment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested, but I'm just a little confused.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I'm not quite sure what he's going to say. I'm not quite sure
Mm,
what he's going to do. I'm not quite sure
mm,
who's going to interrupt him. I mean, he says he's going to come back soon. He's going to wrestle a match. That's great. Wonderful. I can't wait to see him in the ring again. He's got amazing presence. I
yep,
love his wrestling. He's very good. Um, he's a great storyteller.
yep,
And I mean that like no pun intended. I mean, we are getting story time with Adam Cole, but
yeah,
he's a great in-ring storyteller too. And I just wonder though, I completely agree with everything you said. Where are we going with this?
yeah.
What are we going to do with this? Because you're right. He came back. He was saying we were all fired up. We're like, yes, Adam Cole's
Mhm,
back. Great. Who's he going to fight? What's going to happen? And well, it's not going to be for that. I mean, is he going for a title? Because Hobbs is busy.
yeah.
So Hobbs is busy, and that seems maybe a little below Adam Cole's level. I mean, he seems more like main event challenger level, right? But MJF's busy. So now what? And he's going to come back full blown face. So he needs a heel challenger. But where does that leave us?
That's exactly. I have
Yeah, I'm
no
I'm I'm
idea. Yeah.
confused too. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, but both of us are confused.
Yes.
Okay. So that brings us to match 1. It is a no DQ match between Hook and Stokely Hathaway.
So I'm gonna give this match, even though I love Stokely, I'm gonna give this match the bottom spot of the night, just because I don't like matches like this. I do like there's place for comedy matches. I don't know like how this in any way helps Hook, how it kind of helps Stokely, because it's gonna make Stokely just be funnier than he already is, or maybe it's gonna be like Hook's gonna get beaten up. Like, is this gonna be Hook's first loss to Stokely because he gets like? I just don't know where this is going. So because I know shenanigans and all this other stuff, I can't give it anything like I can't give it over any of the other matches because they will be actual wrestling matches with wrestlers. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to give it the sixth spot.
Yep, 100%. It's the number 6 spot. But I'm hopeful that something will happen to at least make it amusing.
Same.
Hathaway can be funny.
Yes,
So,
agreed.
and Hook is just so straight faced that, up against some of the guys in the firm, it could be amusing. But you're right. It's going to be shenanigans upon shenanigans
Yeah.
upon shenanigans upon hopefully some comedy. Um, am I going to like this? We shall see. Do I think I might? It has an outside chance of at least
Mhm.
being amusing. But in my number 6 spot for sure.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Jon Moxley taking on the all elite Stu Grayson.
I'll eat it again. Um, this is match number 2. I think this is going to be my number 2 spot. Just the fact that, I like the little story they're building here with the bad Blackpool Combat Club versus like the good Dark Order. A lot of darkness going on both sides there, Blackpool and the Dark Order. But interesting, well, after what Mox did to Uno, like obviously Stu's calling him out. This is going to be good. This is going to be a good match because as Uno was like a bigger competitor who can move, he can't move like Stu. Like there's Stu Grayson, right? So
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how Moxley wrestles this match, but I think it's going to be hard hitting. There's probably going to be blood. I'm gonna go 95% chance of blood in this match.
It's a Jon Moxley match.
Yeah. But I think Jon Moxley's winning this match. Jon Moxley's not losing to Stu Grayson. But again, remember Hangman saying, "I'm done with you," and Moxley's just gonna keep taking out the Dark Order, right? Forcing him back into a match. So I think this is gonna be a great match. I think again, number 2 spot, and it's gonna be Jon Moxley winning
it. Maybe it's gonna be my number 2 as well.
Okay.
But maybe I think Stu Grayson has an outside shot at winning this match. Now, Moxley does not lose too many matches, but I could see a scenario where Grayson wins the match, and then Moxley just beats the tar out of him with the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club, forcing Hangman to intervene.
Yeah, that's true. See, had this been Jericho, let's say it was Stu Grayson versus Jericho, I'd be like, Jericho's losing. Stu Grayson's going over, right?
Yeah, but it's Mox.
But it's just because, like, you're right, Moxley doesn't really lose anything. But I mean, I could see that scenario playing out, right? Like, is can't control their anger and just beating them down. So yeah.
And then when you've got the 3 guys ganging up on Hangman after, perhaps the Bucks come to his rescue.
Oh my goodness, they have to continue that storyline. Like something has to come out of that. So this is gonna be good.
I think so. So, Sting, Darby Allin, and Orange Cassidy are taking on the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian, rewinding us about 3 weeks of Dynamite, or 3 months of Dynamite.
Yeah, very odd match. Like, what's the story here exactly? Like, why are we doing this kind of thing, right? All these guys are great. Like some are better than others, but all these guys are great. So that's why I am gonna like position this one into my number 3 spot. Just because like you look at all these guys, Sting, like for his age, this Sting is on another level. Darby Allin, you know how much I love Darby Allin. Orange Cassidy, and then Butcher Blade and to a certain extent Kip Sabian. He's been getting better since he came back, but I think this is gonna be a fun match. I think it's gonna all these guys like are gonna perform well. Interestingly, Sting's in this match. Like, I didn't think Sting was wrestling much anymore, but hey, he's in this match, right? So he's gonna get a big pop. But I think obviously like Butcher, Blade, and Sabian are taking the pin for this, right? They're not losing to these guys.
Yeah, I don't think they're losing either.
These guys.
Yeah, I don't think they're winning either. So yeah, and I also slotted it at number 3. If anyone has any doubts, I do put my numbers down next to them after I send the match list to Krishna. So, but we are agreeing yet again. This will be the number 3 match on the night. I don't understand the point of it. There's no real build or lead into this. Orange Cassidy and Kip Sabian were done weeks ago with their little tiff. Why is Kip Sabian fighting with the Butcher and the Blade? Why are they his tag team partners?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand why this match is happening. So
yeah, well, like what was the purpose of this match? Like, did something happen that we missed? Like, I didn't see
I don't
anything.
know. It feels stone cold.
Yep.
Right. Like, okay, we're all these guys are great. I'm going to enjoy it in all likelihood, but I mean, without a good backstory, the storytelling will be tough.
Yep.
Right. Because I mean, what story are you going to tell? It'll just have to be like rote storytelling. And you're not going to actually have the emotion and stuff that goes into building a match without any kind of story. And I just don't feel like there's a story here. So number 3, but that'll be surely based on the fact that there's 6 good wrestlers in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
And that takes us to Toni Storm taking on Skye Blue.
So I'm going to slot this into number 5. And I'm going to add the caveat here that it could be better than number 5. It could be better than the number 4 spot. But Toni Storm versus Skye Blue does not excite me in any way, right? Because I've liked Toni Storm's aggression recently. I must admit, she's been doing very good like that with that. This is clearly to continue the what do they call themselves again? The
Outcasts.
outcasts, the outcasts, what they call them, the outsiders, the outcast storyline. But I just kind of hope it goes somewhere. Like, is it just gonna be they just beat each other up and get chased out of the ring and vice versa, and who's on whose side and blah 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 blah. Like I want a little bit more meat to this, I guess I should say. So yeah, and listen, I'm not doubting the skill of either Toni Storm or Skye Blue, but Skye's still a little green. I mean, she's better than she
No
was when she
pun
first,
intended.
right? But like I've been watching some dark stuff, and like there are reasons why I haven't really recommended a lot of her matches because she's still learning. And credit to her, she's still going out there and competing, right? So that's the only reason why I slotted it at number 5. But hey, I am okay with admitting I'm wrong. So I want them to surprise me. I want them to do a good job and knock the number 4 spot or number 3 spot out of there, right? So we'll see.
You heard it here first, people. Krishna hates Skye Blue.
I don't hate Skye. I love Skye Blue. I love you.
But no, I again, I'm a broken record. I agree. Number 5 slot. Skye Blue's good. I like her matches. She's not amazing, but she's good. She's solid so far. I mean, you're right. She does have the occasional mistiming or something that you would expect from someone who's still a little green, but she's come a long way. Toni Storm, I like you said, I like her aggression. Good stuff. She's better than she was when she first came. But again, I just like you. I'm like, what are we doing with this, guys? How are we going to build that? What they do building the future feud is going to make all the difference in the world to this match.
Yep.
Right. Because first of all, Skye Blue needs to have a strong showing. Because if she's going to be part of that other group, she can't just be the job girl who's going to take all the pins.
Yep.
Which really looks like what she probably will be doing. Right.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Do the Outcasts add another member? Because now it looks like we've got like a 5-on-3 situation, right? So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But again, they need to do something with this. They really need to advance the plot here. So let's see what happens. But then we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match where we have the Guns, Austin and Colton, taking on Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin. It's brothers versus brothers.
So this gave me my number 1 spot. Just kidding. This is obviously slot number 4. And the reason I gave it slot number 4 over the other 2 matches is because simply I love Top Flight. I think they're absolutely amazing. And listen, the Guns wrestle heel WWE style, but I'm gonna give them credit. They wrestle better than heel generic WWE tag team style. They do wrestle better than them. And hey, they've done their job. We hate them. We absolutely hate them. Everything about them. So listen, if you want to be a heel and you want to be hated by everyone, do whatever the Guns are doing because everyone hates them. Everyone loves the Acclaimed. Everyone hates the Guns, right? So, and the Guns, if you think about it, they really haven't done much, but they're just hated, right? Because I guess, I don't know, because they're
smarmy jerks.
I guess, but like recently, everything they've been saying about Billy Gunn has been true. So I mean, like, I don't understand. I'm like, wait, are we supposed to be angry with them? Because
I know,
kind of feel bad for them a little bit, right? So like, I know Top Flight's coming out swinging. Like these guys are gonna put on a great show. They're not winning this match. We're not gonna get FTR versus Top Flight for the belts. It's gonna be the Guns versus Top Flight for the belts.
But that would be awesome.
That would be awesome, but we're not getting that. So maybe when FTR wins the belts, we'll eventually get that match, but we're not getting that right now. But yeah, number 4. I think I'm really just excited to see Top Flight.
Yeah, me too. I'll be excited to see them take apart the Guns. I'll be more excited if they win the belts. Now I'm with you. I think there is an outside chance that Tony Khan has gone, we need this tag team division restored to something wonderful. and that he does pull the trigger and have a surprise victory of Top Flight over the Guns.
Could you imagine? Oh,
That would be amazing. It would be
it would be.
absolutely amazing if they won it, because now you've got these two guys who've had they've had such a strong showing recently, right? Aussie Open, the Young Bucks, right? Like they've been fighting all these top tier teams and holding their own.
Mhm.
So let's say they get the belts and now they got to fight FTR, right? I just think it would be a really good match. But of course, it's two face teams against each other. Would it be better off with Top Flight chasing FTR and kind of a, post Guns thing? But whatever, we need to get the belts off the Guns, and whether it's
Yeah.
FTR or whether it's Top Flight, it'll also depend on the status of those FTR contracts, which, as I've said, are not quite as horrific as the storyline build I feel like they're giving them. But
Bill,
yeah.
as it, again, Bill thinks we're getting played here, guys. So
Oh, we're
we'll
getting
see.
played. We shall see. We shall see. Do you know what we're not getting played on, though?
What's that?
Kenny Omega is fighting El Hijo del Vikingo tonight, the son of the Viking.
This obviously, yeah, obviously, if you look at all our predictions so far, this is our match of the night. Match of the week. You can call it match of whatever you want to call it, right? This is going to be an amazing match. Like, first of all, you'll finally get to hear Battle Cry again, Bill. So that's one
I know.
thing. I'm just like, I just don't know what's gonna happen in this match. This match, like, okay, so Kenny's not taking the fall, obviously. But the video you sent me of Vikingo and stuff I've been looking at, this guy is amazing. Holy crap. Like, is he signed somewhere?
Triple A.
That's what I was gonna ask. The only reason I'm asking that is like it seems like it's one of those things, if he's not signed, as in like after this showing, Tony Khan comes out and says he is now all elite, right? Because I feel like Tony Khan lost out on getting Dragon Lee in the
And
AEW. He did.
Commander.
Sorry?
And Commander.
And Commander, yeah. So it's like maybe one of those matches, but anyways, that's me just obviously fantasy booking here. This match is gonna be amazing. This match is absolutely gonna be amazing. Like I'm gonna go down right now and say this is gonna be my match of the week. The week right now. I'm gonna this guarantee is gonna probably be my match of the week, unless something surprised me. I said that last week, and then I gave the match to Ray Phoenix.
Himika is on her retirement road right now, Krishna.
For the matches that I will have watched this week, I should have.
So I'm getting you for your birthday. I'm getting you a subscription to Stardom World.
I'll watch it. I will watch Stardom. But there's not much I can really say about this match until we actually see it. Because I'm pretty sure you're gonna come back and you're gonna say, okay, so I caught most of the exciting moments on paper, but I was too busy watching this match, right? So
that's probably what I'm going to do anyway, is just watch the goddamn
just watch it. Enjoy. Just enjoy wrestling. Yeah, this is the match in the nights, like Kenny one-on-one. Kenny Omega in a tag team is good, or trios. Kenny Omega by himself in just singles is elite level. Okay, so he needs this, and wow, there were actually some complaints, or I shouldn't say complaints. There were people saying that this match actually should have taken place last week. Like Kenny should have gotten his own one-on-one match against Vikingo, but I'm like, then you have to think about like visas and all that other stuff, right? So, and hey, the match we got last week was fantastic as well. So, let's not downplay that. Like if I was there in the audience, I would have enjoyed it too. But yeah, this match, honestly, I think match of the night, match of the week. Like I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready for this match.
Yep. I don't know what else to add to what you said. I mean, it's going to be phenomenal. Vikingo is amazing. Kenny Omega is beyond elite.
Yeah,
he defines what the elite is.
Yeah.
That's why we call things the Omega level, because you can't get better. You can get to the same plane, Will Ospreay, but you can't necessarily get better.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that we're going to be in for one hell of a match. My match of the night could very well be my match of the week, could be a top 5 contender for match of the year. We shall see. Have we overhyped this match?
I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
we've
No,
overhyped
you're
this
probably
match.
right. I'm just trying to find
Yeah.
some way to talk about it as something, different. But do we
Yeah.
see Konosuke Takeshita tonight on the show?
No, Bill. He's only on elevation.
Oh
And
yeah,
dark.
that's right. In spite of the fact that he's now the Don Callis plot line seems to be coming in, but
Maybe.
yeah, no House of Black on this
Maybe.
show either.
The trios don't they just want to
Yep.
have them just defended on Rampage? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Like what's
that's
going.
true. Yeah, that's true. They can go on Rampage, I
We
guess.
got
Something's
lucky last
gotta.
week with the the actual match
Yep.
at uh Dynamite. But interestingly, I'm thinking about that. Like, so what's the setup for House of Black? Who are they fighting next? Right?
I
I'm
know,
so
right?
confused now.
Yep. Well, maybe they'll be fighting against the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian. Who knows, right?
And they just, oh wait. Can they just go out and beat up everyone in that match afterwards?
They'll be taking on the House of Torture at Forbidden Door too.
Oh man. Like what if the House of Black goes out after the Sting match and just demolishes them?
That'd be pretty great. I'd be okay with
Right?
that. But in all seriousness, though, how cool would it be to have Battle of the Houses?
House of Black versus House of
House of
Torture.
Torture. The Battle of the Houses.
Presented by Game of Thrones.
I know,
Right?
right? Oh, man. Well, before we degenerate into more Forbidden Door discussion, which is, of course, what's primarily on my mind tonight, that and Kenny Omega versus Vikingo, are you ready to go watch some Dynamite?
Well, I'm excited. Let's do this.
Okay, let's do this. We will be back before you even realize we were gone. Worst episode of Dynamite ever. No, I'm just kidding, guys.
So
That was Dynamite, but it was most definitely not the worst episode of Dynamite ever. Let's see, though. It started to us, as I said before, from Independence, Missouri at the Cable Dahmer Arena, which I can no longer say with a straight face. But the show opens up outside with the Young Bucks being taken away in an ambulance, completely ruining my prediction for what might happen later in the show. Hangman actually goes in the ambulance with them, and no one knows exactly what happens. Don Callis restrains Kenny Omega from going, who he wants to go with them, but Don's like, you got a match tonight, and no one knows what's going on. It's just chaos, Krishna. It's chaos.
Yep, it's very chaotic. That's correct.
What'd you think of this opening?
Interesting. I didn't know where it was going. Though, yeah, we'll get. Well, there's more segments coming up, but interesting. I didn't. I was like, oh, who took out the Bucks? But I had to obviously I knew right away who took them out. But yeah, this was an interesting opening.
Yep, exactly. The wingmen finally strike.
The workhorseman, I think you meant.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, Anthony Henry's good enough to take them both out, I think.
He's due
yeah.
for a big push. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we do have Taz, Toni, and Excalibur on commentary as always, and we open with Sting, Darby Allin, and Orange Cassidy taking on the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian. We predicted this would be the third best match on the show. Orange Cassidy is wearing face paint as part of his team. He drew a sloppy OC on his cheeks. Always committed to the gimmick. I love it. Well, Kip and Orange Cassidy started off. They go back and forth until they tag out to Sting and the Butcher. Sting no-sells the Butcher's forearm and then goes at him until Butcher goes for the eyes and bites him. Butcher misses a Stinger splash, but Sting hits one of his own. The match breaks down with interference, though, from both teams. Butcher tagging Kip until Kip and Sting are left in the ring. Kip keeps trying to go to the top, but Sting does the Orange Cassidy roll out of the way and tags Darby, who hits a code red for 2. Penelope Ford distracts the ref and allows the heels to get the advantage on Darby and work him over for a long time, including Blade locking on an extended Texas Cloverleaf that he transitions into a power bomb for 2. Blade tags Kip, and Darby's finally able to make the hot tag to Orange Cassidy, who hits a crossbody and a DDT. He starts doing the soft kicks, but the Butcher interferes, and the Butcher and Blade hit a combo neckbreaker power bomb to him, giving Kip a 2 count. Cassidy tags in Sting behind Kip's back because Kip is too busy playing with the crowd. Sting does the soft kicks and chest beats before taking out Butcher and Blade and locking a Scorpion Deathlock on Kip. The Butcher and Blade pound on Sting though until he lets go. Darby interferes, takes out the pair of them, but Kip gets Darby. Orange Cassidy comes in, hits the Stun Dog Millionaire. Darby hits a tope on Butcher and Blade, while Sting returns and hits the Scorpion Death Drop on Kip for 3. What did you think?
You know, I enjoy this match. I really did. I had it as slotted at number 3, but I'm moving it up to number 2. I really had fun with this match. I thought it's almost like a Sting retirement tour that's happening, and I'm enjoying it. Like, this was a really good match. Like, I love how each person was kind of like playing off each other. Like the Sting when he started doing like the kicks, the Orange Cassidy style kicks and stuff like that. Like it just works so well. Kip Sabian looking like he's back in form, like the old Kip Sabian. Butcher and Blade just being awesome because they always are. Darby Allin insane as he always is. And obviously Sting no selling, and I like when they were like chopping him and he's like his Scorpion Deathlock, and then they both start to like beat him down, and that's what gets him off of it. But I really enjoy this match. I'm digging Penelope Ford's new look. She looks less crazy, I guess, but her hair is kind of dyed. I'm like, Penelope, I'm digging the new look. But no, I thoroughly enjoy this match. I moved it up to number 2 from number 3.
It got moved to 2 for me too, but by default. I definitely enjoyed the match. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to enjoy. The lack of story didn't help. I mean, there was some good comedy spots in it. Little bit predictable. But all 6 guys fought really well.
Yes.
Like all 6 of them.
Yes.
And I thought that, the actual wrestling was really good. So I enjoyed this match. Like I said, more than I thought I was going to. I gave it like 3.25 stars, which I don't think bodes particularly well for the rest of the. I mean, the wrestling itself was really good. I think the 3.25 for me is more because of story. Like the match was just thrown together, and there's nothing like why are these 6 fighting? We said this before, and I still don't understand why they're fighting. They just had a match. Great, 3.25 stars.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
they showed that little segment apparently. So I guess we gotta know what's happening on the live event shows now, because it showed the live event show where they got attacked for some reason. I don't know why. They just got attacked, and that was the build. So I'm like, okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah, if we got to follow the product that closely, we're in trouble. Where was the bunny?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's still hurt. I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah. Oh, well, I missed you, bunny. Anyway, that was that match. But yeah, it was my number 2 match of the night as well. Darby also, by the way, at the end, he stares at the double or nothing banner like it was the WrestleMania sign. It's like, come on, guys. Do we really need like a double or nothing banner hanging? He didn't point. He stared. Maybe AEW is going for the stare rather than the point. They're all just going to turn and look lovingly or longingly at the banner. Anyway, they recap the rebar mitzvah from last week, and then you get a video with all of them saying little things. Darby says AEW represents something bigger than him. It lets me be me. So, he wants that belt. Jungle Boy says, this is for my family and the people supporting me. He's going to be champion. Sammy just says, I'm destined to be the champion. MJF yells and says, with cake on his face still from last week, you can't just request a shot. You have to earn it. You have to become the number 1 contender. And of course, all 3 guys say in their little videos that, they'll beat a whole bunch of people and become the number 1 contender.
Yeah, this is good. This is exactly what I was thinking was going to happen. Great, you get to have these 3 guys just going through gauntlets and beating people, and probably ending up in a 4-way. But like, I mean, like this, they're going to earn it. They're going to get there. It's going to be a great match. Yeah. Those 3 guys, I would watch those 3 guys wrestle every week if I could. So,
oh yeah, exactly.
I'm happy.
And I like this too because it kept us reminded of what happened last week. They did the recap, and then they gave each of these guys a little bit to say something, so it was still kept in our minds from last week. So this was like really good carrying over the story on Dynamite. AEW needs to do a little bit more of this consistently. Make sure the stories are carried over well. We then get a Kenny Omega and Vikingo promotion video noting they were supposed to fight in 2021, but Kenny Omega's injury stopped it. And it was supposed to be a fight for the Triple A Mega Championship, which is their big title.
Yeah. We were hoping for this, right? We were hoping for a bit of a build, and I'm glad they started doing it throughout the show a little bit, so that this was good.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Then we get the AEW World Tag Team Championship match in slot number 2, which meant I thought to myself, my prediction, my hope that Top Flight is taking this is completely out the window. And we get the Guns versus Top Flight. Brandon Cutler, by the way, before that happens, we get an update. Brandon Cutler has texted into Excalibur and said that Blackpool Combat Club are the ones who attacked the Bucks, and Brandon Cutler was in the first ambulance.
Yeah, and it shocked nobody because that's what we predicted in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who else is attacking the Bucks, right? Anyway, so Top Flight starts off taking it to the Guns with classic Top Flight action until Austin's guillotines Dante over the ropes, allowing the Guns to take control. They use ref distraction to work on Dante outside the ring. The announcers talked about Taz going to France. Dante finally makes a hot tag. Darius takes out both guys, ending with a German suplex and then a Spanish fly for 2. Both sides tag, and Dante hits a half and half side slam. Kind of what it looked like anyway. I don't know what to call it, but it was pretty cool. For 2, Dante hits a high Gamengiri and then the nosedive, but Colton breaks up the pin. Then the Kingdom shows up and beats up Darius, distracting Dante and allowing the Guns to hit 310 to Yuma for 3.
Yeah, such a weird finish. But okay, sure. I left this in the spot that I had said I was gonna leave it in, spot number 4. Because again, I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't expect the Kingdom coming out. I was like, what the heck are they doing here? But yeah, I guess that was a distraction win. Sure, if that's the way you want to do it, okay. And I was like, okay, the match itself wasn't terrible. It really wasn't. Like again, as I said, the Guns played their WWE heel shtick to the T. Dante and Darius did some amazing stuff. Like as I said, I came here to see Dante and Darius. I got Dante and Darius. It just sucks they lost. We knew they were gonna lose. So yeah, it was number 4.
Yeah, it stayed in 4 for me too. Would have given this around like a nice serviceable 3 stars. I thought Dante and Darius have had much better showings. They were okay for them. And I mean, that's still really good. They did some cool stuff, but it's all stuff I've kind of seen them do, and it wasn't really in moments or spots that told me anything or did much. It was just kind of like spots for the sake of having the spots. So it was good. I enjoyed it, but I felt it was kind of like just there, like,
Agreed.
and then wait, when they started the Ring of Honor streaming thing and they had this show and they're doing the court, didn't they say that this was the end of ROH plot lines bleeding into AEW?
That's what I thought.
I thought that's what they said, because apparently this was an ROH plotline bleeding into AEW. So I guess we're just back to that again.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, hey, I like the Kingdom. I got no problem with the Kingdom. I would rather have seen the Kingdom versus Top Flight than the Guns versus Top Flight. So there you have it. But anyway, yeah, it stayed in my number 4 spot too, which, given what I just said about this match, does not necessarily bode well for the 5 and 6. FTR's music hits then, and they are there to talk business. But the Guns say, well, we don't like you or respect you. You're losers. You lost 3 sets of belts and lost to us. There's nothing you can say or offer to ever get a title shot again. So Cash says, yeah, so if we say we'll never challenge again if we lose, Guns, you have nothing to offer. Cash, well, we'll break up FTR if we lose. Who cares? You have nothing to offer. Dax, if we can't beat you, we will quit AEW. The Guns are, you'll leave forever? Deal. And they spit in FTR's face and leave.
So are you going to say that you were right and that FTR is playing everybody with their whole thing about not knowing where they're signing?
100%. This is just CM Punk WWE winning the championship from John Cena part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna get the championships and what? Leave the company with them?
Yeah,
like whatever.
This is them. Yeah, and that's it, right? This is they've signed the contract, and like that's all that's happening. They're gonna beat the Guns. We had predicted them beating the Guns before any of the contract talks
Mhm.
anyways. So there's no way the Guns are like the Guns need to get the belts taken away from them.
Yes, immediately.
So like sure. We knew this was gonna happen. And yeah, it looks like FTR is here in AEW for a while.
Yep, because they're going to win the belts, and that will be the end of that. And we're all
Mhm.
happy. Because then we can get on to having some real tag team matches again. And we can
Agreed.
get out of this like weird black hole we've been in from the end of 2022 to 2023. Ever since the Acclaim started challenging Keith Lee and like what was it, Swerve in Our Glory.
Swerve in Our Glory.
Yeah, ever since that happened, the tag division went all weird.
Yep.
So then we have a Taya Valkyrie recap, and then we have Renee in the back with Jade Cargill. And Renee says she has her eye on your prize. And Jade says she interrupted my moment in true WWE speak and used my finisher. And Mark says, well, we have a cease and desist on the Jaded to Taya Valkyrie. And Layla says, I'll deliver it to her at Rampage because they can't afford court people. Jade says, welcome to that bitch show. So Rampage is the bitch show? I'm confused. And I just wrote in capital letters, yawn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's there. I don't know what they're gonna do with this. I guess Taya Valkyrie's gonna beat Jade Cargill for eventually. I don't know. Maybe that's gonna be the match at the pay-per-view. I have no clue.
Krishna, I already don't care.
And I know, Sam. I don't care.
I know. I'm watching this and went, I don't care. If she's the one to beat her, that's fine. But I don't care enough about Taya Valkyrie to care that she beats Jade Cargill. So it remains in the big box of who gives a rat's ass. It's a match I can skip on Rampage. Okay, cool. We then get the no disqualification match, Hook versus Stokely Hathaway, which we both said would be our number 6 match. Hook is 23-0, and Stokely has the heart of a lion. So, as he informs us before the match, Hook is the victim of a targeted harassment campaign, according to the announcers, especially his dad. Stokely announces he's not medically cleared to compete, though, once he gets to the ring, and then he officially retires from wrestling. He hands a doctor's note to Justin, but Justin says it's a receipt for Wingstop, and the ref rings the bell. So Stokely tries to run away. Hook catches him, shoulder capture suplex on the floor. He gets a guardrail from under the ring. Backstage, the firm is concerned because they didn't practice any hardcore. With Stokely. Stokely gets a fire. By the way, they were all pretty much staring straight on the TV too. I was pretty impressed. They were watching TV properly. So, they should give, like, I don't know, was it Jungle Boy who was watching it weird in the back before lessons? I can't even remember who was watching it, but they were terrible at it. Stokely gets a fire extinguisher, sprays Hook in the eyes. One of the commentators comments, he could be blinded for the whole match. Have they watched any wrestling ever? And gets a chair. But Hook gets the chair from Stokely and beats him with it, and then suplexes Stokely into the guardrail. He pins him, pulls him up a 2, locks in the red room. Ref calls it immediately. Backstage, by the way, Matt Hardy encourages Ethan Page to avenge Stokely.
Yeah, I am enjoying this storyline because it's absolutely ridiculous. Question: if it was no disqualification, why didn't the firm help Stokely?
That's a very good question.
Because no one said they were banned from the ring.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about them being banned.
So why didn't they all just gang up and beat the crap out of Hook?
I'm thinking that sometimes they're just not that smart.
Well,
I mean, after all, it was a no DQ match, and they didn't train Stokely in any hardcore, right?
They're hilarious. Like I'm enjoying it. Like, I mean, for what it was, like Stokely took some bumps. I have to give him credit. Like that he took some crazy bumps here. I mean 5 and 6. I mean, you could interchange these matches. But I really did enjoy this match. I mean, I thought it was fun. No, I said I enjoyed it, but what I really mean was I thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny. It didn't overstay its welcome. I still hate Hook's music. Like Stokely is he's friggin' hilarious. But yeah, I mean, this was sports entertainment. That's all this was, right? So I was like, okay, but it wasn't like really, really good sports entertainment. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I was over this match. I mean, it could stay in the 6th spot. I don't really care.
Yeah, I left it in 6 because the match itself really wasn't much. I mean, yeah, Stokely took some hard bumps, but I mean, you knew who was going to win. You knew what the story was in. But you know what? I was entertained.
Yeah.
I didn't hate this. I wasn't bored watching it. I was just like, this is exactly what I expected it to be, except slightly more entertaining. The inclusion of the guys in the back around the TV really helped. Like the cutting to them in the back going, guys, we didn't train him in any hardcore. Like I laughed. I laughed. And then at the end when Hardy is like encouraging Ethan, but you got to avenge this guy. I'll draw the contract up for you. Right. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Anyway, so yeah, but 1.5 stars for the entertainment value.
Sure.
Stokely at the start trying to pass off a receipt for Wingstop as a doctor's note.
It says, if you look at it, the receipt, it said he's sick. That's what it said.
I couldn't see the receipt. Oh, that's funny. Oh, well, then we move to story time with Adam Cole. But we are told before the break that this is an advance of the premiere for All Access, which makes me really worried about the content of this promo. Yep. It's like, oh no, is it just going to be all about the All Access show? Fortunately, it was not. Adam Cole comes out to a massive reaction. And he says, who's ready for story time with Adam Cole? We are 7 days from my in-ring return in AEW. I've talked about my struggles, but now I feel great. I've never been more ready to do what I love to do, wrestle for AEW. I know everyone has questions, the biggest being, who is going to be my opponent on March 29th? And the audience starts chanting who. And of course, just as Krishna predicted back in the thing, we get an instant interruption. Daniel Garcia's music hits. He comes out and goes, who's ready for story time with Daniel Garcia, to a chorus of boos from the audience. But yeah, Garcia was looking very cool in his like half off leather jacket, his shades. Oh God, he just looked like such a douche. I love it. Adam, he goes, I know you've been gone for a while, so here's an update. Since you've been gone, I've become a veteran. Oh, I'm going to have trouble reading this without dying. All the boys in the back respect me so much. I'm a locker room leader. God. It's not that I'm laughing that Daniel Garcia couldn't one day be a locker room leader, but my God, dude, this was like one of the best promos I've laughed at in a long time. As a leader, I thought it was my duty to welcome you back, to put you back in your place. I don't know if you remember, but over the last 9 months, while you've been playing stupid video games on Twitch, Brody King beat him, Ricky Starks beat him, Bryan Danielson, I beat him too. I've main evented more AEW programming in the past year than anyone on the roster. I wonder if that's a true stat.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna look up. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want me to welcome you back when I've been out here proving I'm one of the best pro wrestlers? And he stops himself.
Mm-hmm.
Pauses and goes, sports entertainers in the world today. So what makes you so special? I loved that little callback though.
Mm-hmm.
Then Adam Cole says, when they ring the bell, that's what makes me special. Hey, I like you. You're really, really good. Someday you could even lead the charge. Your problem is the company you keep. The JAS gave you overconfidence. Even me not wrestling for 9 months, I'm still Adam Cole. And he lists some of his accolades. He says, I'm willing to do anything for a second chance. And it looks like I found it. If you're crazy enough to challenge me next week, you're on. First time ever, next week on Dynamite. This isn't just my return match, but my statement that one of the best pro wrestlers on the planet is back, baby. And I hope you know what you're in for. Next week will be a great night for me and the fans, but for you, not so much. I'll see you next week.
Daniel Garcia, bad guy, awesome. Adam Cole, good guy, meh. You know, I was like, yeah, you're okay. Like, okay, I see where you're going. But again, it's kind of like cookie cutter WWE babyface. And I was like, okay, like Garcia's hilarious. And like some of the things he listed, I'm like, wait, is that true? But I love the best pro. I become one of the best pro wrestling. And he stops.
Yeah.
And the crowd, like they went insane. Right? So I love that a little bit. And you could tell Jericho, this is Jericho just sprinkled all over this. Like his mic skills have improved so much. Yeah. So am I excited to see Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia? Yeah, I am. I'm curious about this match because they've never fought each other before, right? So because Adam Cole said for the first time ever, it's gonna be Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia can go. So this is gonna be a big test for Adam Cole's return. I'm hoping for the best. Like like. Listen, I'm not saying an Adam Cole babyface run is bad. I'm just saying I prefer him as a bad guy. He's just so much
Yeah.
funnier and better, right?
Well, I look at him kind of like, and I'm going to make a WWE comparison because
Mhm.
and I think he models himself a lot after Shawn Michaels.
That's what I was gonna say that. Yeah, Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. Because, when he's like being a jerk and being like a smarmy heel and stuff like that, he's at his best, right? When he's a face, well, yeah, he's a bit of a white bread, good guy,
Yeah.
smiley time,
Kind
everyone's
of
with
boring. Kind
me,
of.
fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not just WWE baby faces. That's baby faces like the standard 101 baby face
Yeah.
just about everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
That's true.
hey, I love you guys. I love the fans. I'm passionate about wrestling and I'm here to win things. You know? Okay. Thanks, Adam. Cool. I am looking forward to this match next week, though, because holy crap, Adam Cole
Mm-hmm.
versus Daniel Garcia. I didn't know I wanted this match till Daniel Garcia
Till
came
now.
out. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, what a great first
Yeah.
opponent for, it'll be in the main event. Daniel Garcia can continue his streak of being in more main events in AEW than anybody else. If that's a real streak, I got to figure that out, man.
That's
That's good. Someone,
crazy.
someone must have done the
Yeah.
calculation by now on Twitter somewhere. So, anyway, we then get Alex Marvez back in Kenny's dressing room. And Kenny's clearly distraught. Don Callis is talking to him because somehow Alex Marvez just waltzes into Kenny's dressing room. And Kenny's like, look, my best friend's left in an ambulance. I should be with them. And Callis says, look, I sent Nakazawa.
Yeah.
Good job, Don. And then he goes, look, the kids in the ambulance might be the best thing that ever happened to us. Kenny's like, what are you talking about? And he says, look, you can focus. The god of pro wrestling is back. Right. But Kenny looks conflicted.
Hmm. This is what started. I was like, why did Don Callis call them kids and say it's okay that they're in the ambulance? And I'm like, what is happening here? And I'm like, oh my God, Callis trying to turn Kenny against the Bucks? Like, what's going on? And we'll get to the ending after, but
Mm-hmm.
I was like right away, I was like, this is an interesting storyline. I don't know what's going on here, but let's see
Yes.
this one through.
Right. And Don Callis is the kind of guy that, as we learn, relies on Kenny Omega never watching the product after it happens. So,
I was gonna say that really. So he's never going to watch a replay of his match or what happened
nope,
afterwards.
never, not at all, especially not a match like the one he just had. He would never consider watching that back. Then we get Jon Moxley versus Stu Grayson, which we both said was going to be in our number 2 spot. And clearly we have now changed our minds because we already have matches in our number 2 spot. And unless this goes to our number 1 spot, which it's not, Mox comes out with the Blackpool Combat Club, Grayson with the Dark Order. Grayson goes right after Mox. They brawl back and forth. Mox gets the advantage with a foot choke. They shoulder block each other, sort of. Mox bails, but on a return, Grayson hits a Hurricane Rana. But on a turnbuckle spring, Mox moves, hits a suplex, sends Grayson off the apron into the rails after. He works over Grayson back in the ring, locks on a clover leaf, hits a Gotch-style pile driver for 2. He kicks Grayson's head in, hits a series of kicks. But Grayson gets to his feet, hits a running slam, another, and then a spinning senton for 2. He goes to the top, but Yuta and Castagnoli distract him. So he goes for the standing moonsault to the outside on them. Back in the ring, he drops Mox with a knee. He goes to the top. He hits a 450 splash for 2. He goes for the nightfall, but Mox counters into a bulldog choke. He transitions into a front headlock so he can knee him in the head, then back to a rear choke. It was a pretty cool set of transitions, showing that Jon Moxley can, in fact, wrestle really well. Stu gets to his feet, though, and cannonballs Mox into the corner. Mox goes for the paradigm shift. Grayson counters, hits a Pele kick, but Mox catches him on the turnbuckle and hits the Dermis Destroyer and a headbutt. Then he hits an Avalanche Death Rider for 3. And that's the end of the match. The Dark Order runs in immediately to protect Stu Grayson.
Yeah, this match was good. But it's just like I feel like I've seen better from both guys. That's why I put it in the number 3 spot. I'm like, yeah, it was decent, better than what was number 5, like anything below it, 4, 5, 6. But yeah, I just thought, sure, it was. I originally had it at number 2, dropped it in number 3. It was decent. Just I don't know if I expected more is maybe what I'm trying to say here. I just there were a few times where things look a little sloppy. But I just like chalked it up to, Grayson just being back in the ring, the jitters and stuff like that. It's like it's been a while. But yeah, I just
It's not like he hasn't been wrestling. He just hasn't been
well,
wrestling in AEW.
maybe not on TV, right? So, but yeah, I mean, it was good, but I again, I kind of feel like I've seen better from both guys.
Well, you saw better from Stu Grayson last week.
Yeah, that match was
I mean,
decent.
he was
It's good. Yeah,
phenomenal last
yeah,
week. This week, I was kind of like, oh, there's
yeah.
that thing that I'm not sure how that shoulder block thing was. I mean, it looked like
I
they
don't know.
missed the timing ups or something on that, right? Because then Mox bailed to the outside and he looked pissed,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And whether he was mad at himself or just mad at the situation, he didn't look mad at Grayson, but I mean, he just
No.
looked angry.
Yeah.
And I think someone blew some timing somewhere. They just seem to be a little bit, one half step behind each other
Yeah.
occasionally and stuff. And, Grayson's 450 didn't quite reach Mox. And, there was a lot in this match where I was
Hmm.
just kind of like, oh, guys, you could have had, like you said, I've seen both guys do better. I've seen
Yeah.
both guys have much better matches. I'm just going to call it a slightly off night for both guys. I gave this one like 3, and I still enjoyed the match. It was still some really
Yeah.
good stuff in it. 3 1/4 again, but it slides to my number 3.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, this parade of like 3 1/4. I mean, it's not terrible. It's
Nope.
just house show level stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
yep. Then we get Renee in the back with Ricky Starks, and she's like, "Where do you stand with Juice Robinson?" And Ricky goes, "You tell me." And no, I'm like, "No, Ricky, you tell us. We have been asking you this question for ages, and you guys have had this weird, like, semi-promo feud back and forth." But anyway, I had to end my vacation. How come Ricky Starks gets a vacation and Jon Moxley doesn't? I had to end my vacation to tell Juice he doesn't like being attacked, meaning Ricky doesn't like being attacked. If he wants to face me, come to Rampage. And then he says, it's the craziest thing he's been a part of in his whole life.
The Juice Robinson feud.
Yes, in his whole life, the craziest thing he's been a part of is the Juice Robinson jawing at each other in tiny little 10-second promo segments every week.
Yeah, I don't care for this still. You know, I'm just kind of hoping they have a good match. That's about it. I don't care. I don't know.
Yay, go match.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I hope Juice Robinson kills him, but we know he won't. Anyway, yeah, this was whatever. In all honesty, I would agree that on one level, it is one of the craziest things I've seen in my life. A match that's built up with this much stuff that's been built up on 10-second promo segments for like 5 weeks now or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we get QTV. And apparently they've discovered a hot new prospect. His name is Ray Phoenix. And so they have footage of Ray Phoenix, and all the footage they have is all the moves Hobbs did on Ray Phoenix during the match. So it makes Ray Phoenix look like he was just smashed. And then QT goes, imagine being in the Lucha Brothers and your own brother doesn't come out to help you. And Solo is coming, oh, they have miedo. They're afraid. Solo has been, and then Solo comments on how he's been wrecking Wardlow's life. This is an ongoing thing now where he's like making sure he's losing his house and all kinds of other fun stuff. And then they mentioned that Hobbs is issuing another open challenge. And as soon as that's over, we immediately learn that Penta El Zero Miedo has accepted the open challenge. Like not 3 seconds after this pre-taped QTV segment ends. I guess Penta was like just waiting next to the phone, or he was standing in the doorway to Tony Khan's office and was just like, okay, come on, guys, open challenge, please.
He was just creating the graphic. That's what he was doing. The Penta.
Or Penta was like, hey, remember when Peter Avalon came out to that open challenge? So Penta has been literally standing backstage just waiting for an open challenge now. And then the second this was like even out of the guy's mouth, he like shoved 3 other guys out of the way and was like, I'm taking it.
Yeah, maybe that's it's a possibility. Yeah, I mean, I'm the QTV stuff. Whatever. I mean, I don't. It's kind of weird, but the match itself, setting up the Hobbs match, that's pretty cool. I want to watch Hobbs versus Penta. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm just kind of like, it's, some of these segments going a bit too long. So yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was a segment. I was mildly entertained. I didn't hate it. Didn't love it. It was there. Then we have, speaking of things that are there, Toni Storm versus Skye Blue. Every time I hear Toni Storm's music now, I am just thankful it is not Mina Shirakawa's music. I don't have to listen to accordions. Yes. So Storm attacks Blue aggressively right off the top, but Skye Blue comes back. Skye hits a knee and then a Hurricane Rana to Storm on the floor. Storm haymakers Blue on the turnbuckle though, and then hip attacks her off the apron where the Outcasts attack her. Storm chops her against the ring post until Blue moves and she actually chops the ring post, but Ruby distracts her and Storm regains control, hitting a snap suplex on the floor. Back in the ring, she stomps her in the corner, hits 2 more snap suplexes. I gotta say, her snap suplexes are good before tossing her around by the hair. Blue finally comes back, throwing Storm by her hair, then a roundhouse kick followed by a diving crossbody, Hurricane Rana, rising knee strike, which is another name for a V-trigger, followed by a seated enziguri for 2. Skye goes for the code Blue, but Storm counters with a Thez press. She hits the tornado DDT for 2, and then she does a half-assed running hip attack, pun intended, but Skye counters with the code Blue. But the ref is distracted. Ruby then distracts Blue, but she dodges Storm, rolls her up for a big near fall. Storm hits a shotgun drop kick, though, followed by the hip attack, German suplex, and what I have decided I am calling from here on out the let's sit down with Toni for 3.
Yeah, I mean, this match basically played out the way I thought it was going to play out. It wasn't bad, but you could see that Skye is getting better. Toni looked better in this match as well. Like, give her credit there. Like, I mean, when Skye went to hit the red something, what is it called? The one that Dustin Rhodes does. I'm totally forgetting what it's called, but it's like the one where it's almost like a Canadian destroyer.
The code Blue.
Code Blue.
Normally called a code red,
yeah.
but she calls it the code Blue because she's Skye
and,
Blue.
And like the first time it was reversed, so it kind of looks like she just ran up and sat on top of her and then jumped off, and you're like, oh, yeah, how was that reversed exactly? But anyways, like, I mean, that it. Yeah,
Storm felt it coming and moved slightly.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, this match, it's trying to carry on the storyline. So they attack Skye Blue. So like, I mean, sure, okay, it's my number 5 match.
Yeah, it's my number 5 as well. You know what I realized it was with Skye. She, like, you're right, she can hit some good moves and she's better. And I thought Toni Storm was the better of the pair in the ring. Toni Storm, those snap suplexes, they were really good. Like, I was impressed with them. She hits them hard. She's got like that. She's got great torque on them. So they look vicious. Her hip attack is vicious. Her striking's better. I mean, I don't know if she's just finally coming out of her stuff and doing this heel gimmick has allowed her to kind of work better in her style again, because she looks a lot better than she did when she first got here. That's for darn sure. I still hate her finishing move. That is the worst finishing move on the women's roster. And like I said, from now on, the Storm Zero will be called the Let's Sit Down with Toni, because that's basically what it looks like, sitting down. But yeah, Skye Blue, she's not the word I'm looking for. It's like when she starts to move, she almost looks like she has to think her moves a little bit. And it causes her steps to not be fluid. So her fluidity is really what I notice is lacking, is that she's just not quite as fluid as some of the vets are. She can't move from move to move quite as effortlessly as someone who's more experienced. But you're right, she is getting better. She's a lot better than she was like a couple of years back. So anyway, after the match, they try to spray paint Skye, and Riho and Willow run down. Riho's got a giant pipe again. It's quite the image with Riho in her like pink dress and her little bob pigtails and a giant pipe. I absolutely love it. I'm like, you cannot say Joshi wrestler better than that.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, okay, so the same thing happened again.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was a repeat of the previous week.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that Riho was on there. I love the fact that her theme music is so much better than Toni Storm. Great. Got to see some Riho, and we move on to a Stu Grayson medical update. Now, I am going to assume that when AEW booked this arena was like, guys, we don't have any space at all for you to have first aid or doctors or anything. Our sports teams, if they get injured, they have stretchers in the hall for them, okay? Because Stu Grayson was being treated by the doctor on a case sitting in the back. with like the storage cases or what. I'm like, why is the doctor treating him here? Well, apparently it's so the Blackpool Combat Club could jump Stu Grayson and beat the crap out of him. After which, Mox calls Grayson an amateur.
It's like, wait, was he referring to the match itself? Like, like what was happening? But yeah, no, this is just like this is funny. Blackpool Combat Club. It's like, I guess this was confirming that the Blackpool Combat Club was going around beating everyone up, even though we knew it and Brandon told us, and now they're doing this. So yeah, I whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Who are they gonna beat up next? Well,
yeah, I did like the way Moxley showed up though. He was just kind of standing next to Grayson, leaning on him a bit. Hey. So yeah, I am not minding this Blackpool Combat Club at all. Roving pack of guys who beats people up. I'm down with this gimmick. Well, that takes us to our main event of the evening, which we both slotted number 1, and unfortunately, clearly had it fall horribly to number 7. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even as good as the Adam Cole segment. Is that what we're going to say here?
Not even as good as the Jade Cargill segment.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, number 8. Oh
Number
no,
8.
but in all seriousness, people, buckle up. Okay. I do not have what I would call fulsome notes on this one because I spent a lot of this match watching the goddamn match. But here's what we've got for you, people. One note right off the top, Omega's wrestling style in this. He was vicious. He wrestled it kind of like he wrestled Ospreay. Vicious, focused, methodical, not necessarily Mr. Fast Times, which was the absolute perfect choice to match against Vikingo. Yep. Because that made Vikingo look like a freaking $1 million.
Yep.
Because he was the fast one. He was the like face style moves guy. And Omega just played hard hitting, vicious Kenny Omega. And it was the absolute perfect story to be telling between these two guys. So he does things like hair pulling for the love, like that armbar he put on where he like yanks back on Vikingo's braid. That was great. But anyway, spots of note. Why does my page keep jumping everywhere? It's like it is trying to be El Hijo del Vikingo on its own. But anyway, Kenny's entrance. Okay, seriously. I wish I could have written down everything Justin Roberts said, but I absolutely loved this entrance. He's 2-0 in Indiana, which is not quite as good as his 1-1 record in North Carolina. The man who held the title for many more days than El Hijo del Vikingo. Oh, it was just so good. And of course, Battle Cry and Kenny. I mean, and you know what I was thinking when he walked out on the stage though tonight? We're gonna see this entrance at Forbidden Door in all likelihood.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there watching this live. I can't even. I'm just stuttering. Yep. Anyway. Vikingo starts off though. Kenny doesn't even reach the ring. He starts off with a tope suicida, tope con hero, springboard drop kick. A little while later, Vikingo hits a shooting star press off the apron to the floor on Omega, springboard 450 in the ring. I mean, basically, Vikingo is made out of like silly putty and springs and I don't know what else. But and the scary part is all of his moves, he hits everything dead on. Yeah. It's just crazy. Anyway, Kenny hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, then a brainbuster for 2, beginning sort of a bit of a targeting of Vikingo's back. I mean, he works on it a bit, but it doesn't become a major thing for the match. There's more backbreakers later on, knees to the back. But at one point, he gets a table, after which the crowd then chants that they want tables. He's already set it up. This is the second time an AEW crowd has done this. Like, guys, you chant before he pulls the table out. Anyway, he locks on the armbar, pulls on the hair, like I mentioned earlier. He chokes Vikingo on the rope later. But then Vikingo comes back with a Hurricane Rana, sending Kenny to the apron where they fight. And then Kenny Omega hits a monkey flip on the apron to a holy shit chant. Vikingo hits then the Dragon Rana off the turnbuckle pole, which, guys, it's a flipping, like a 450 Rana, like flipping Hurricane Rana from the turnbuckle pole to Kenny Omega standing on the apron to the floor, to which afterward I just wrote in capitals OMG.
Yeah.
And there are still 10 minutes left in this match. Omega then goes for the awesome bomb, but Vikingo counters it into a Rana. He hits a Phoenix splash from the second rope springboard style for a near fall. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Fight forever chant after that. Omega catches Vikingo, though, on another run, 2 power bombs and a V trigger for 2. He hits a Snapdragon and another V trigger. He sets up for the one-winged angel, but Vikingo fights out and hits a swan diving poison Rana, and I almost came out of my chair. And then he hits a 630 senton to Kenny through the table and a holy shit chant. And both guys are down outside the ring. They roll in the ring. Vikingo covers for 2. Soon they're back up. Vikingo hits a sunset flip bomb for 2, but he misses the 620 senton from the top. Kenny nails the V trigger at that point and the one-winged angel for the 3. Do I need to ask what you thought of this match, Krishna?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I thought this match was amazing. I got scared when Kenny tried to do the power bomb off the top rope and got caught with the Hurricanrana right off the top. And from the angle it showed, it looked like Kenny landed on his head. And the announcer sold it that way. But when they showed the second angle, you're like, okay, I see what he did there. So he was okay. That's why I got scared. But man, did Vikingo look good here. And I didn't realize how small he was. Like, I'm so used to seeing like guys pulling off moves like this, like Ray Phoenix style size, right? Ray Phoenix is not a small guy; he's a bigger guy, right? Taller guy, I should say, in comparison to like, let's say, like a Rey Mysterio Jr. But Vikingo is actually pretty short. I did not know that. So yeah, having Vikingo doing all these like crazy fast flips and everything landing like that. What was it? The 630? Is that what he hit or something?
Well,
Like
he
that?
hit the 630 senton, 620.
On top, on
I don't
top
know.
of the table, and then the Phoenix, like the one he had his back turn, he did the Phoenix dive or whatever it was. I was like, what is this guy doing? Holy God. The poison Ranas, like the one he did from the top rope, I was like, oh my God. And he hits them. Now, credit to Kenny Omega for being able to sell these moves too. Holy crap, right? Like, he just made this guy look like an absolute star, and Vikingo is a star. Like, I mean, there's no doubting that he is he's a Triple A champion. Let's be real, right?
Yes.
There's a reason for that. I absolutely love this match. I thought it was such a great showing. But like you're right. Kenny fought more like he did against Will.
Yep.
Right? It wasn't flashy. He wasn't doing it. Remember a couple weeks back, I was like, oh my God, Kenny Omega, I got to see the great hits, right? They were the greatest hits. This one he fought, it was, yeah, right, more methodical. Like, he was like basically just trying to hurt this guy, right? But man, when these guys hit each other, I could not believe it. It was like, it's scary because you look at what Vikingo and Kenny are doing, and they're doing it at such fast like speeds that it really makes you reflect on like the Skye Blue stuff, where like you see her jogging and you're right, she's calculating in her head. Vikingo did that once when he would look to see if Kenny was on the table, and then you see him, he focuses, and then he just runs and does it, and you're like, what the hell am I watching right now? Right?
Like, when he hit that, I was just like, are you freaking kidding me right now?
Great showing by both these guys. Vikingo, you're a star. Like, this is they talked about dream matches. Yeah, I totally understand why this was a dream match. It was absolutely amazing. Like, I was just out of my seat. Like, yeah, this was an amazing match. Number 1 easily.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a tough one to beat for match of the week for sure. This would be my number 3 match of the year so far.
Okay.
Yeah, the Osprey Omega is still number 1. Hazuki and Saya Kamatani still beats this.
Okay.
They may not have done the super flashy Vikingo moves, but they did a crap ton of moves that were amazing, and it had the emotion and storytelling. This one had some interesting in-ring storytelling, but it didn't have that sort of like, Osprey Omega or Hazuki Kamatani overarching story. I mean, they added us a little bit. They gave us some, hey, we've got like the current longest reigning champion versus the longest reigning champion. They were supposed to have this match ages ago, but there's no story. I mean, why does Kenny Omega want to fight Vikingo? Why does Vikingo want to fight Kenny Omega? I don't know. So for me, that meant that you didn't get quite that emotional level, but oh my God, did I love this match. This
Yeah.
match was
Yeah.
just so good. This was like great, this kind of style pro wrestling. When I want to watch a luchador, this is the kind of thing I want to see out of a luchador,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Hell's
Like
yes.
this
I agree.
this was lucha things on steroids, man. So this guy makes other luchadors, with the exception of maybe Ray Phoenix,
That-
look
I,
like just one small step below.
I
Like
was gonna say the same thing. Yeah.
there's he's like the Kenny Omega of luchadors.
Oh man.
And then there's everyone else after him, except maybe
Yeah.
Ray Phoenix. Because Ray Phoenix is like the
Exactly.
Will Ospreay next to Vikingo's
But that's
Kenny
it. But
Omega,
that's it, right? Like
Yeah.
though this is what everyone who thinks luchadors are supposed to be. This is what they are. Like this is what everyone thinks they are, right? So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Plus his entrance is cool. The whole
Yes, yeah.
Viking thing is cool, right? The fact that his father was the Viking El
Hmm.
Vikingo, right? Now he's El Hijo del Vikingo, which is just
Literally
very
the son
cool.
of the
Yeah, the son
Viking.
of the
Yeah.
Viking, like I said, right? It's yeah, so no, I loved this match. I would have given it like 4 3/4 stars.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Number one match on the night, and right now my third best match of the year. So
Wow.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
High praise there. I can't disagree with you. This match was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yep. I mean, I'm looking back trying to think of some other ones I've watched that, I mean, the Osprey Davis match was really good, but it wasn't up to this level.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's a couple Osprey matches kicking around I haven't seen this year, like the one he did in Rev Pro earlier this year that apparently was outstanding. Um, there's a few matches I haven't seen this year that might be as good. The Kyrie and Mercedes Moné match is now up on New Japan World, so I'll have to check that one out, see if it was as good as everyone said it was. But I'm trying to go into it with an open mind. Okay. Okay. But no. Anyway. So yeah, that was the match. And then Tony comes into the ring after the
Mm-hmm.
match. And he says, he's saying to Kenny, how are you feeling? Blah blah. And Kenny's like, well, the more time that goes by, the more I wonder if I can do this kind of stuff. And the Blackpool Combat Club jumps him, and they're beating him down. And then you hear a siren, and Hangman shows up. They have the screen outside in true, almost Attitude Era fashion. Hangman Adam Page drives up in an ambulance before the cops can arrest him for stealing an ambulance from the hospital. So the Blackpool Combat Club, this was where I was like, these guys are pretty smart. Realizing Hangman is nowhere near the ring yet, continue to beat on
Beat him up,
Kenny.
yeah.
Might as well. He's not here. Finally, Hangman's music hits, and Hangman walks to there. Now, it is a fast walk, but he sure as hell wasn't running. But that might be because he was carrying a board that had nails in it.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, he gets in the ring. Blackpool Combat Club bails. He's turned around. He's got the stick. Callus touches his arm. He turns around and looks like he's gonna like hit Callus. And of course he's like, "Oh no, it's you, Callus. Okay, fine." But then Callus reaches out and Callus falls down in the ring after barely touching Hangman. And then Kenny gets up and he thinks Hangman decked Callus, and he's just like, "I'm done with you." And Kenny Omega leaves the chat.
Yeah. Great ending. With when they attacked. Now, I bit at one point. I thought Hangman was part of the Blackpool Combat Club. And the reason I kept saying, notice how Hangman's wearing all black recently, right? Again, wearing all black. I thought he was about to swing at Callus. And if he did, I'd be like, oh my God, like, is he part of the Blackpool Combat? And I was expecting him to swing at Callus, knock him down, and then the Blackpool Combat Club to come in, because he didn't attack any of the Blackpool Combat Club. They jumped out of the ring, right? When they saw him coming. So I was like, what's happening? Now, I am enjoying the story here because, as you said, Kenny Omega is not going to rewatch this match, so he's not going to know what happened. Now, Don Callis fell as well, right? And he was holding Hangman's hand. So if Kenny does watch the replay, Callis can say, "Oh, I had grabbed Hangman, and maybe he turned and I fell and I got hurt." Right? That's why I was pointing at him, right? And that could be, miscommunication, whatever. But Don Callis playing Kenny against the Bucks and Hangman, and now with awaiting Konosuke Takeshita in the background, because again, that's who's there. this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. I'm like, so the Bucks are going to be going good, I'm assuming. Well, they're technically good right now. But I mean, they're good with Hangman. Does that mean Kenny's bad? With Callis and Takeshita and who else, Bill? Who else would join them?
Kota Ibushi.
Coda, that's exactly what I was looking for. Coda? Like,
To be
that's
honest,
interesting.
when the attack happened, what I bid on was,
Okay.
well, Hangman is nowhere near the place. Right? No one's here to save Kenny. They're all gone. Nakamura's gone. Right? And I'm like, it's either going to be Takeshita
Or
or Kota Ibushi.
Coda. I kind of thought the same thing.
You know?
But then when I saw the ambulance driving back, I was like,
Then I was like, oh, okay, it's Hangman.
did
Fine.
somebody call the WWE? Is
I
that
know,
who's
right?
here? And then they're like, oh my God. No, and the best part is that question, how did we mic up the ambulance? How did
That's
we
a
know,
very good
right?
question. I hadn't even thought of that, but
Which
you're
was
right.
playing the direct sound from the ambulance inside the arena. Because you heard the ambulance first
Hmm.
before you saw the picture,
Right.
right? And I was like, is someone driving an ambulance into the arena? And then you see the ambulance pulling up to
Yeah,
the
it's not
arena. I'm
even in the
like,
arena yet.
yeah, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, how? What
So
the
they have
hell
like really good mics outside the
outside
arena,
the
mic'd up
arena?
just in case something
Right.
interesting happens out there. They left a mic out there from earlier with the
Uh,
attack. Like,
yeah. These are the things that, like, okay, these are small things I complain about, but these are the things that make a big difference to
hmm.
production value, right?
Yes.
Like AW, you mess up on the opening of people's entrances. You barely get the sound right. Interviews start in the back room. You haven't cut the audio from the audience, and people are already talking in the back, and vice versa. Right? You're like, what's going on, guy in the like the truck outside? Are you like, is there a satellite delay that we don't know about that you're on?
To be
Like,
fair, I don't notice most of the stuff you just
oh,
mentioned.
it bothers me because I remember the fact that they're praising now the fact that AEW's out fixed all of their issues, and I'm like, have they though? Because I'm still seeing a lot of these issues popping up. And that's the problem. It takes you out of the immersion, and that's my problem. Like, you want to be
Hmm.
immersed in all the stuff. Um, so I have no problem. Like, again, this is me nitpicking. I am very, very interested in this storyline, right? Very interested in the storyline. I'm very interested in the Kenny Omega we're gonna get in a couple months. Because as Don said, the god of professional wrestling is back in his singles matches. He doesn't need those two guys,
Hmm.
right? So
Yep. Yeah, no, I know. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. This can go a lot of ways. I hadn't even considered the whole Hangman Blackpool Combat Club thing because I see Hangman as like this is really where they're putting a lot of their babyface eggs in this
mhm.
company, and I can't see him turning on Kenny
No.
Omega because I think that would instantly heal him, and I don't think he needs that right now.
And he's never really played the heel. That's the problem with
No, because I
Hangman.
don't think he can.
He can. Yeah, and even when when he's going through his alcohol issues and stuff like that, he was still a good guy,
Hmm.
just going through some rough times.
Right.
And even when Kenny turned his back on him, he was still the good guy trying to like, so, the millennial cowboy, like, I mean, like, you're right, maybe he can't be a bad guy. Maybe it is him and the Bucks that will have to bring Kenny back from the dark side, right?
Quite possibly. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can see Don Callis, the invisible hand, right? Like, Don Callis is
Hmm.
kind of like Palpatine, right? Whereas Kenny Omega is like Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, right? He is being twisted and molded into like this dark lord, whereas he doesn't. Clearly, Hayden Christensen or Darth Vader needs to watch the recaps of his movies to see what was happening in the background. But
Exactly.
hopefully,
Dude, just watch the episode,
dude,
right?
just watch Attack of the Clones, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But like, it's interesting because I'll be very interested what happens next week. Because Kenny, are you going to be watching Being the Elites? Are they not going to show any of this stuff? But then again, Brandon Cutler isn't there to film,
Good
right?
point. Yes, he is
Right?
away in the ambulance, so
Right?
he'll probably be filming footage from the hospital.
Yeah, and Kenny Omega only watches Being the Elite. He doesn't watch anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course we have Adam Cole's like I don't keep up with the product when I'm like injured and yeah,
Oh
anyway.
God, yeah,
Good
yeah.
times. Well, that was Dynamite tonight.
That was
Was
Dynamite.
anything on this show at the Omega level? I ask foolishly.
Yeah, you know, uh, thank you, Tony Khan, for introducing us to, or introducing me to Vikingo. That match is absolutely insane. Like Omega level match for me. Omega level performance by both those guys, right? As I said, Vikingo came out on top, like as the um the best spots. Like it was owed to him throughout the entire night. Like he was really the best wrestler in that match. But who sold those moves? Like again, I'm just as I go back to, not many people can sell like a Kenny Omega or a Will Ospreay or a Ray Phoenix. Like there aren't many of these guys, right? So credit where credit's due. Like fantastic job, Omega level match for me.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I would say, watching these two guys, right? I would say Kenny Omega was still the better wrestler,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And I say this for this. Yes, the Kingo hit a lot of really cool spots that like in all honesty, are there other human beings that can hit some of those spots? I don't know. They are impressive as hell. They are like super athletic. But the storytelling, the
Uh-huh.
facial expressions, the viciousness, the ability to transition, being in the right place at the right time, selling everything properly, making Vikingo look like an absolute $1,000,000 when he's in the ring,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Omega was still the god of pro wrestling. So,
100%,
yeah.
100%. And I love the ending where he picks up the mic and says, sometimes I think I can't, am I able to do this anymore? And then he gets attacked, right? And the
Yes.
answer is yes, you can. Like, yes,
I know he's been
you
doing
can
that
do
though.
this.
He did it on the podcast. He
Mm-hmm.
did it there. I've been wondering
Mm-hmm.
if I can do this anymore, right?
I'm thinking he's playing us all
Mhm.
as usual, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
because he is a mastermind of his craft. If anyone has a more creative mind on this business than Kenny Omega, you would have to show me someone
Yeah.
because, Chris Jericho is also a very creative mind in this
Oh yeah.
business. But yeah,
but
Kenny, those two guys are
but
just on another
selling,
level.
the like,
Oh,
and I'm telling you that hurricane off the top rope where it was a power bomb into hurricane. I don't know how you do that. I really don't know how you do that, right?
hmm
It looked dangerous as hell. And that scared me because I thought he had spiked his head into the ground. I was like,
hmm
so Kenny Omega is dead. I don't know what's happening here. So bravo,
yes.
bravo.
Now,
My
now,
goodness.
Kenny, no more matches like this until Forbidden Door, okay? Like,
Yes.
just stop. I want you to wrestle
Save it
like,
for Will.
yeah, you
Save
you
it for
you
Will.
are going to wrestle like Greg the Hammer Valentine for the next 2 months,
No, no,
okay?
no, no, no. He's gonna wrestle like the Miz for the next
Okay, yeah,
two
that
months.
perfect. You wrestle like the Miz for the next 2 months, okay? You take matches against guys who also wrestle like the Miz. You get to Forbidden Door. I will forgive you for a whole series of meh matches, okay? Just
Yeah,
just get to Forbidden Door without getting injured. Okay,
Kenny,
thanks.
maybe wrestle Sky Blue for the next couple months, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yep. But on that note, Kenny Omega versus Sky Blue coming next week on Dynamite.
Who apparently I hate, but I actually don't hate.
Yes, no, I don't. But as the great one always says, and as he probably said tonight at some point after he finally got up after the Blackpool Combat Club
Mm-hmm.
murdered him, goodbye, everybody. Mwah, and good night. Bang.
Night, everyone.